Tonight on Vanished in America, we are looking at 5 people from 5 different parts of the country who disappeared and never came home. Their ages were different, their lives were different, the places they vanished from were different, but every story leaves behind the same kind of pain. Someone was loved, someone was expected back, someone had a future, and then without a clear answer, they were gone. Every case in this episode is based on official records, public reports, and credible sources. No rumors, no accusations, just the facts that are known, the questions that remain, and the names that still deserve to be remembered. The first case is Jason David Landry. Jason was 21 years old, a student at Texas State University, and on December 13, 2020, he was believed to be driving from San Marcos toward his family home in the Houston area. It should have been a normal drive, the kind of trip a college student makes without knowing it will become the last confirmed part of their life. His family was waiting. There was a road home. There was a destination, but Jason never made it. His silver 2003 Nissan Altima was found abandoned outside Luling, Texas, after a single vehicle crash. The car was there, Jason was not. According to the Texas Attorney General's office, Jason's phone activity helped investigators trace part of his route. His phone last connected to the Waze navigation app around 11:26 p.m. near Magnolia Avenue and Austin Street in Luling. Investigators believe he continued straight instead of turning toward the route that would have taken him to I-10. From there, the trail led towards Salt Flat Road, a rural stretch outside of town. Sometime after that, Jason's car crashed near the 2300 block of Salt Flat Road. Officials have said there was no evidence that another vehicle was involved. His car was found in the early morning hours of December 14th. Some of his belongings were found at or near the scene, including his backpack and clothing. Investigators have said they believe Jason survived the crash, but what happened after that has never been confirmed. That is what makes this case so painful. A crash explains why the car stopped. It does not explain where Jason went. It does not explain why search teams, dogs, drones, line searches, and later searches did not bring him home. It does not explain how a young man could disappear from a rural Texas road and leave his family with nothing but questions. Jason was not a mystery to the people who loved him. He was their son, their brother, their friend. And years later, the truth is still incomplete. Jason Landry disappeared on his way home, and his family is still waiting. The second case is Jaliek Rainwalker. Jaliek was 12 years old when he disappeared from Greenwich, New York in November of 2007. He was last seen wearing blue jeans, a yellow fleece pullover, and black shoes. New York State Police list his last known location as Hill Street in Greenwich, and have stated that foul play is suspected. Jaliek was still a child, and that matters. At 12 years old, he had a voice and a personality, fears and habits, and a life still forming. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children notes that he had a slight speech impediment and pronounced the letter R like a W. That small detail stays with you because it brings him back from the flatness of a poster. It reminds you that Jaliek was a real boy with a real voice. The known public facts are limited. He disappeared from Greenwich. Law enforcement has treated the case as suspicious. Foul play is suspected. No one has been convicted in connection with his disappearance. Over the years, there have been reports and public questions about the circumstances around the night he vanished. But the most important fact remains unchanged. Jaliek Rainwalker was 12 years old, and he was never found. A child does not vanish from a small town without leaving pain behind. People remember, investigators remember, families remember. Time can move on for the world, but it does not move the same way for the people left behind. Jaliek should have grown up. He should have had birthdays, school years, mistakes, chances, and ordinary days. Instead, his childhood is frozen in one missing person photograph. Jaliek Rainwalker is still missing, and his name still deserves to be spoken. The third case is Myra Lewis. Myra was only 2 years old when she disappeared from Camden, Mississippi on March 1st, 2014. 2 years old, barely past babyhood. According to the FBI, she was last seen by family members between 10:30 and 11 that morning, playing outside her home. She was wearing a turquoise sweater with a bear on the front, light-colored pants, and pink tennis shoes. Those details are almost too small to hold. A little sweater, pink shoes, a child playing outside. Then suddenly everything changed. Myra's disappearance appears to have happened in a narrow window of time near her home. Official sources do not give a complete minute-by-minute explanation, but the core fact is devastating. Myra was outside, and then she was gone. A toddler cannot explain where she is going. She cannot protect herself the way an older child might. She depends on the world around her to be safe. That is why Myra's case hurts so deeply. It happened in daylight. It happened at home. It happened to a little girl who should have been within reach of safety. Searches were conducted. The FBI came involved. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children continued to share her case and later released an age-progressed image because time did not stop after Myra disappeared. That is one of the cruelest parts of a missing child case. The public remembers the child as they were, but the family has to imagine every age they never got to see. First school days, birthdays, missing teeth, growing taller, becoming someone new. Myra Lewis should not be remembered only for the day she vanished. She was a little girl with a life, a family, and a name. More than a decade later, she is still missing. The public truth remains painfully unfinished. Myra was last seen playing outside her home in Camden, Mississippi, and no confirmed explanation has publicly established what happened to her. The fourth case is Tabitha Tuders. Tabitha was 13 years old when she disappeared from Nashville, Tennessee on April 29, 2003. She left home that morning to go to her school bus stop. She never got on the bus, she never made it to school, and she never came home. That is what makes this case so chilling. It began with a normal morning, a child leaving for school, a short walk, a routine that should have been safe and forgettable. For most families, mornings pass without much thought. Someone says goodbye, someone shuts the door, someone expects to see their child again later that day. Tabitha's family did not know that ordinary morning would become the last confirmed part of her story. The Nashville Cold Case page gives one of the clearest public details about what happened. It states that Tabitha was last seen around 7 a.m. walking to her bus stop near South 14th Street and Luling Street. Neighbors and other children waiting for the bus reportedly saw her. A red car was observed stopped near where she was last seen. When that car drove away, Tabitha was gone. That detail does not tell us who was in the car. It does not prove exactly what happened, but it gives the disappearance a terrifying shape. One moment, Tabitha was walking to school. The next, she vanished. More than 20 years have passed. Nashville has changed. People have moved. Children who were her age at the time are adults now. But for Tabitha's family, one part of time stayed broken. No parent should have to wonder what happened between home and a school bus stop. No family should have to measure life by the number of years their child has been missing. There have been tips. There have been questions about vehicles. There have been renewed efforts to keep her name alive, but the facts have not changed. Tabitha Tuders was 13 years old. She left for school. She never boarded the bus. She never arrived at school, and she has never been seen or heard from since. The fifth case is Kortne Stouffer. Kortne was 21 years old when she disappeared from Palmyra, Pennsylvania on July 29, 2012. According to the FBI's VICAP listing, her last known contact was around 3:30 in the morning when Palmyra police responded to a disturbance. After that, Kortne vanished. The FBI says foul play is suspected, and NamUs lists her disappearance as suspicious. Kortne's case is frightening because she disappeared from a place that should have been safe, her apartment, her own space, the place where someone should be able to close the door and feel protected from the world outside. Public reporting says she had been out with friends in the hours before she vanished and was back at her apartment by the early morning. Police responded to a disturbance, and the FBI marks 3:30 a.m. as her last known contact. After that, the trail goes cold. What was left behind makes the case even harder to accept. Reports have stated that her phone was left behind, her wallet was left behind, her car was still there, her dog was still there. Those are not things that most people leave behind when they simply walk away from their life. That does not tell us exactly what happened, but it helps explain why investigators have treated the case as suspicious. Kortne had blonde hair, green eyes, and several tattoos, including one love on her right arm, 3 stars on the top of her right foot, and a tattoo on her left side of a pistol shooting flowers. Those details matter because Kortne was not just a missing person file. She was a young woman with her own style, her own choices, her own future, and people who loved her. Somewhere between the last known contact and the silence that followed, something happened. More than a decade later, Kortne still has not been found. So there you have 5 cases. Jason Landry in Texas, Jaliek Rainwalker in New York, Myra Lewis in Mississippi, Tabitha Tuders in Tennessee, Kortne Stouffer in Pennsylvania. 5 lives interrupted. 5 families left with questions no one should have to carry. Some were children, some were young adults. Some cases involve suspected foul play, others remain unclear. But every one of them deserves attention, respect, and the chance for answers. If you know anything about any of these cases, contact the proper law enforcement agency listed on the official missing persons pages. Even if the details seem small, even if years have passed, even if you think someone else already said it, say it anyway. Missing person cases have been solved because one person finally spoke, one memory came back, or one overlooked detail reached the right investigator. This has been Vanished in America. Remember their names. They are more than photographs. They are more than dates. They are more than the worst thing that may have happened to them. They mattered before they vanished, and they still matter now. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you like these types of videos. We look forward to hearing from you.